The opinion expressed on this program, Money and Business, are those of the host and his guests, are not necessarily reflect the opinion of Radio Shalom. Please read the prospectus before investing in mutual funds and consult with your financial advisor.
Live from the studios of Radio Shalom, 1650 AM in Montreal, Canada, the city of Joie de Vivre, the world capital of culinary variety, and the home of the Montreal Canadiens. This is the Money and Business Show with your host, Samuel Izurzer, consultant with TE Mirador, a national wealth management company answering to all your financial planning needs since 1972, known as TE Wealth in the rest of the country and headquartered in Toronto. Every week, Samuel and his guests discuss money, investments, financial services, and the world economy. Over the next hour, you can have your questions about business and personal finances answered. So call 514-738-4100 extension 200 to speak with Samuel and his guests. And now, here is the host of the Money and Business Show, Samuel Izurzer.
Money, and business. Global stock markets, are they posed for a crash by summer as Europe is handling its debt crisis? Deflation on the horizon and a reduction in spending by aging baby boomers. Can it put the brakes on global growth? Severe market downturns don't usually happen in a U.S. election. But the U.S. Federal Board is running out of bullets to spur its economy. Charles Nenner believes the stock market, like the economy, and indeed the universe, is predetermined. After all, our lives are controlled by cycles. The cycle of night and day, the work week, the seasons, the human gestation period of 40 weeks, the tides, and the weather. Nenner's work is based on cycles. His research focuses on uncovering and harnessing the overlapping patterns that are at work in the world. But Nenner has demonstrated the ability to glimpse into the future, and that's why hedge funds and other institutional traders pay top dollars for his insights. My name is Samuel Izurzer, your host to the Money and Business Show on Radio Shalom CJRS 1650 AM in Montreal. Thank you for tuning in live on the Business Show with our business studios headquarters in Montreal, the financial capital, and the home of the greatest hockey team, the Montreal Canadiens. We have another great show for you today, and as always, you can call in. If you have any questions, comments, or criticism on today's topic, please call us direct at 514-738-4100, extension 200, or email me at moneyandbusinessshow@gmail.com if you have any inquiries. Or you can also visit our website at www.radio-shalom.ca. All our shows are archived there. I work as a financial consultant for TE Mirador or TE Wealth in the rest of the countries. I've been providing corporate executives, CEOs, families, employers, and employees with independent wealth management and financial education services since 1972. You can visit our website for my contact information at www.temirador.com. Today we have Mr. Morris Cousineau from National Bank Financial. How are you?
I'm doing well, Sam. How are you doing today?
Good, good. Another great show today.
Another great show, and we're approaching our 100th show now. Do you know that?
Are we?
Yeah, we're getting there. You see how time flies when you're having fun?
Well, you went on the website and started to count how many shows you did?
Yeah, I did. I think,
really?
I'm not sure.
The century mark.
I don't have enough fingers, but I'm up around 97.
97, 98?
Yeah, something like that. Nice on 98.
I think we should buy a champagne. You know what? After the show, maybe we should just start counting how many shows we did.
That's it, yeah. So we'll tabulate that.
Good. And you know what? I don't want to waste a lot of time, but who's our next guest? Because we have so many questions to ask Charles. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's very windy today also.
And very windy and cold.
Windy's fun. Anyways, our guest is Mr. Charles Nenner, who Mr. Nenner in 2001 founded and is president of Charles Nenner Research Center. Mr. Nenner has provided his independent market research to the following entities all over the world: hedge funds, banks, brokerage firms, family offices, and individual clients. Charles has been the talk of Wall Street since accurately predicting some of the biggest moves in the markets over the past few years. Charles Nenner's system uses the unique algorithm using the factors in multiple cycle movements with international and institutional clients managing hundreds of billions of dollars. Charles's advice is highly sought after. So go ahead, Sam.
Yes, shalom, and thank you very much, Charles, for being on the Money and Business Show. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
I'm doing fine.
Good. I know it's a little bit late there in Amsterdam, but how does your system work? I know it combines cycle, waves, and target algorithm, but can you just explain us, just in a nutshell, how does it all work?
Well, the only way to accept it and understand is if you can accept that mostly there's no free choice in the world. Even the Rambam says there's not much free choice. When we talk about masses of people, maybe individually you have some free choice, but I don't believe too much in free choice. So once you don't believe too much in free choice, then you have to figure out what the no free choice is like that people have. And then you start discovering a pattern, and then you see whatever the papers tell you or the world tells you why markets go up or down, currencies go up or down, is just an illusion, it's an explanation of what has to happen anyway. And that's actually the basis on the whole system. So when you find the underlying theory, it's like throwing a ball in the air and knowing about gravity and understanding that at a certain moment it comes down, and how high it will go and how long it takes until it comes down. And it's the same is true for the markets.
So what you're trying to say is everything's predetermined, right? Is that it?
There's no free choice. Everything is predetermined. That's another question. Mm-hmm. It's just a question that if let's say you sit in a place and everybody talks about you have to buy this and this stock, or this is what Europe does or Europe doesn't do, then most people react the same and they think it's a free choice, but they influence each other, and that's why they have no free choice. If it's predetermined, I also think it's predetermined, but that's even more difficult to understand.
So let's talk about choices. The people who put together the European Union and the Euro had no clue, I think, what they were doing. Not surprisingly, Charles, you're also predicting the eventual collapse of the Eurozone. Is that right? I mean, the next year or two?
Yes. Well, I think they're gonna stay with a strong euro, a northern euro, and a southern euro. That's, I think, is going to be the solution.
Oh, that's going to be a breakup? Is that it?
Yeah. I think that's the only way to get out of it. And then I think we're almost back where we were. There are a couple of strong countries, and the rest has to see how they get out of the mess. Would
the euro survive itself? The euro.
I think it will survive. And now you ask me, which has not been done before in history.
Right.
And as you know, I work with the continuation of what happened in the past. I even, when I worked at Goldman Sachs for 50 years, I was giving classes to newcomers who was PhD from Harvard, and they thought, any day something new can happen. I said, that's why we don't pay you. We pay you because you studied financial history, and we hope that based on the history you can predict the future. Otherwise, we don't need you over here for such a big salary. So in this case, it's something totally new, and it's my guess as well as your guess.
So, Charles, explain why do you forecast that 2012 will be a tale of two halves? Do you still think that, there's a little bit more upside in the equity market, talking the S&P 500, or the TSX here in Canada, and you feel like the bleak outlook for the global equity market is consistent with your economic outlook? Is that right?
That's correct. And I, on a regular basis, send out 3 overlays of 3 markets. The market that came down from 1929, how it continued. The market, the Nikkei, that came down from 89, and S&P, and it's a perfect correlation. So all these markets go the same way, and so we should bounce for, it can hold up till the end of the first quarter of 2012, and then there's going to be a big mess. Now we can come up with reasons why it's a big mess. One is that there has to be a huge refinancing in Europe. And if they cannot get it done, it's a big mess. Second is, I'm predicting the start of a big war, the end of 2012, 2013. So we might see the first signs already. So we can come up with a couple of reasons why it will happen what happened. And then the other thing is that although we have some pickup in the economy right now, I think it's going to roll over again and be in bad shape for a couple of years, starting the middle of 2012. So there are enough reasons to figure out that it's not going to be that great.
So what are you recommending investors to do? To sell their stocks or keep some stock or a third of their stocks? What are you recommending for investors or listeners of the Money Business Show to do?
The problem is that people who have savings, I also have savings, I almost get no interest on the savings. And people who thought to retire don't get any interest, and they're forced to do something with the money, which in normal cases they wouldn't do. I think that's one of the reasons why the market is holding up again, because people have to make some money. part of that, I am afraid very much for the banks. So you call from Canada. I'm not so much afraid for the Canadian banks. They're in good shape. But in other countries, I tell people, although I don't like real estate, maybe you should buy real estate because at least you have something if the system breaks down. That's not so urgent for Canada at the moment. And as you know, what I've been saying for a long time, I will buy some farmland. And
did you just say farm? Did you just say farmland?
Yes.
Okay.
And take advantage of the in a soon bottoming cycles in agricultures. It doesn't have to be in Canada. I'm joining a friend who has farmland in Peru, and he's selling grapes to India, China. Says there's always a market for it. But that's very specialized. I also don't know too much about it. It's just that he asked me what to do. What I would do is I would be out by the end of the first quarter of 2012, especially if you see the S&P reach 1460. That's, I said, if we don't get a sell signal, that's where we're going.
So 1460 in the S&P 500. If we don't break that on the upside,
no. If we don't break down, then that's the upside target.
Oh, if we don't break down, it'll go to 1460.
Yeah, but then you really have to be out.
Okay.
So you got about 150 points from here.
From here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another 1,500 points in the Dow, about? More or less, right? Usually, right, Morris? Okay, good. All right, I do have Charles Nenner here on the Money and Business Show, live from Amsterdam, founder and president of the Charles Nenner Research. By the way, how do we get to, if somebody wants to go on your website or, want some information, can they just email you?
No, we have a site, charlesnenner.com.
Okay.
Or you can just put in Google Charles Nenner, and you can request the letter. Comes out 4 times a week. Nobody's going to charge you. You can take a look for a month or so, and then decide if you like it or not. Okay. And after a while, they will ask you, do you want to continue or not? And then you have to pay. But in the beginning, it's for free. And
what's in the? They have to subscribe. Okay, they go on the website, they subscribe, and what do they get out of it? They get market research, on gold and the equity markets,
gold,
commodities,
currencies, interest rates, okay. Stocks, also some international markets like European, Indian, China markets,
okay.
Natural gas, and whatever is important.
Good. Okay. Just stay on the line. Again, my name is Samuel Izerzer here for the Money and Business Show on Radio Shalom, CJRS 1650 AM in Montreal. I'll be right back in 2 minutes.